All right, time to talk about cold front storms. So we're going to talk about the temperatures, humidity, and wind speeds that accompany a cold front storm. And on your packet, you need to be following along on the first page because what I'm going to do is show you a series of graphs for the temperatures, humidity, and wind speeds that occur before a cold front storm passes, during the storm, and after the storm. And your job while you're following along is to fill in the table on your packet with the general conditions for those three factors before, during, and after the storm. So let's get started here. First, looking at temperatures. So we have a graph here of temperature data in Celsius, and you can see that the data spans several days, starting October 16 and continuing through October 25 from back in 2016. So as always with these graphs, the first job is to just describe the pattern. What right on the graph, what do you notice? So first thing I notice is that there seems to be a regular pattern of cooling and warming each day for this first, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. So it gets warmer in the daytime and then cools off at night and then warmer and then cooler. So very regular pattern. Then there seems to be a disruption in the pattern and the temperatures decrease overall. And then after that disruption, we return back to a warming and cooling pattern similar to the beginning of the graph, although overall the temperatures are cooler. So there is your before, during, and after, because we're going to say that the cold front storm must have happened during this disruption, right? So sort of centering on October 21 and 22. So make sure you have the information for the temperature in your table. And then moving on to humidity, the graph covers the same time span here, but now we're looking at the humidity in the air. So again, just starting by observing the trends on the graph, I notice that we have a regular pattern of rising and falling humidity each day. And then there seems to be a disruption to the pattern. So what's happening here is instead of the humidity decreasing like it had done in the previous several days, it sort of gets stuck up high here. So we have this higher humidity with respect to what we would have expected. That was a lot of respects. So the humidity remains higher than we had previously seen in the pattern. And then the pattern resumes, but overall the humidity is lower than it had been. Okay, and then finally is our wind speed graph. So over the same time period, it looks like there was also a rising and falling pattern, but clearly there was a very large spike in the wind speeds centering on October 22nd, right when the front passed. So we have our before the storm, during the storm, and after the storm. Okay, so make sure you have your table filled in, and then you'll be ready to add this information to your packet for the science ideas. So this is to summarize what happens during a cold front storm. In general, the storms last longer than a few hours, which is different than those sort of pop-up thunderstorms we were looking at in the first topic. Cold front storms are accompanied by a drop in temperature and an increase in humidity during the storm. There's a spike in wind speeds, and then after the front passes, temps are cooler and humidity is lower.